You're tuning in to Past Our Prime, a show powered by Squad Locker.
Let's be great. Let's be great.
Here are your hosts, retired Astros minor league star Tip Fairchild and former Patriots All-Pro center Dan Copen.
Go rock this thing, huh?
Get it, you gotta say the name the right way, because I would not pronounce it that way. Right?
How would you
Is the U silent?
You can pronounce it however you like.
Well, how do you actually pronounce it?
That's really not how it works.
So my family's split half and half.
Yeah, that's...
Guay or gay.
Really? So way?
Guay.
Guay.
Oh, okay.
The G is not silent. The G's first.
Okay, all right.
You could be silent.
Okay.
Not so much the G.
Guay or gay?
This is,
So
by the
it's
way,
French
this is great
Canadian.
content.
Do you say gay or guay?
Gay.
Okay, so you say it one
So what
way.
half says guay?
My
Like immediate
sister.
family.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
My sister, my cousins.
That's weird.
My sister.
This feels like content.
This
feels like content.
This should just.
Oh, we're running. Okay, good.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well, she can join the whole thing.
She can.
Let's just go. Episode 71, Max. Am I right there? Episode 71.
Okay.
Past Our Prime, powered by Squad Locker. And
A lot going on with Squad Locker right now.
Tip over there.
Shave
And,
face.
Yeah.
Had the beard for almost a month. Listeners know that. Well, listeners don't. Viewers do, I guess. Right, Max?
That is so correct.
Yeah. Nice clean shave today. Weight's coming down. Clothes are starting to fit a little looser. Same for you. I can't believe how low you are right now. Shocking.
It's not, I mean,
You haven't been this low yet.
I have. I've seen,
You haven't seen a 3.
I think I have.
A 239 you
I've
have
seen a 3 at one point in my
7th
life.
grade?
I think it's like, all right, so you start out at 300. There's nowhere to go but down.
You can't go
At
to
that
4.
point. No, you can, you can.
can't go to 4.
And it might be very enjoyable if I could. But there's no way to go down. And then it went down maybe 20 pounds or 270 I'd be low, and then it'd fluctuate back up. I think I'm in the range where, all right, 250 could be the new
high?
The new high. I mean, no, because I just got to 250 now. So.
Okay, right, yeah. But like the
250,
new
255, 255
I'd say
maybe,
it's
hopefully.
call it the new baseline.
Yeah, I like
New
baseline.
baseline. Okay.
So, yeah, but we're going down more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm on a free fall.
Free fall. So I'm just trying to. I'm like, my weeks are good. My last weekend was better than the weekend before. I'm just looking for improvement.
Yeah.
Better choices.
Black coffee, tuna fish packets, pickles, and protein at night with vegetables. As many vegetables as you can
You
eat.
should just eat peanut butter at night.
Last night I actually did I saw it on the counter and I was like, oh man, I really want a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
I walked into the room last night and I was hungry too. Because usually at
my
night,
stomach
then
was
I'm looking for
growling.
like a ice cream or like a candy or something like that. Because we still have Easter candy.
What'd you get?
I
Celery?
got an apple.
Yeah, that's good.
I
Apple a
got
day.
grapes.
Keeps the doctor
I
away.
got grapes
Yep.
and watermelon. And I walked into the room.
A lot of water there. A lot of water weight. That's good. That's good.
Have you
Is
guys
it?
ever counted macros?
No.
No, how do you count it? What is that? What is a macro?
Protein, fat, carbs.
Do you know how to do this?
But you look at me like I should know
Should
this.
we announce our guest
Well,
first?
there's,
Go for it.
there's
Yeah.
apps out there for it. They do it for you,
Yeah.
but it's unbelievable to see in fruit how many carbs there really are.
Wait, are
Okay,
you
all
good
right,
at this,
wait, all right.
Kate? Is-
No,
really?
I've
Is this-
done it. It's a lot of work, but it's mind blowing to see in fruit
Okay.
versus.
You're telling me
vegetables.
I'm getting fat off of fruit?
You could be. You could
No,
be.
this
you're supposed to eat
because
vegetables.
All right, Gary, the CEO here,
He says
right?
he
Remember,
crushes fruit.
he said you can eat fruit whenever you want.
You can. I think you can eat vegetables whenever you want.
Count
I think
your
there's a way to
macros.
do it.
What's a macro?
Well, let's go through the guests first.
Okay,
so
go for it.
we got Katie Gay on. So, which we're going to go through we pre-checked the questions with you, so we're good. You're not
I
past
was
your
just
prime.
seeing
She's
if you
actually-
were really serious about having me on, and
Oh, no,
that
are you
list
serious?
came
Like,
quite
you're-
quickly.
Yeah.
You're testing us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a
so
test.
That's the
And-
first.
and you're
That's the
not-
first guest ever asked for pre-questions.
Right, and I was shocked. And
Did
but
you
I had
actually
them
do it?
queued up. Oh yeah, sent the whole list. I had them all queued up. So the good part here is that she's very local because she works right here. So that part was amazing. What's amazing
Travel
also,
fee was low.
right? Travel fee was low, is that you have some serious accolades, which we'll discuss. Being the first female referee in the NHL. Like you can skate, you play AHL.
AHL.
You played college hockey.
Did you say you can skate?
All kinds of stuff. Yeah, skating is a big thing.
That's-
We're gonna cover this stuff.
I can stop too. I hear that's on your list.
That's on the list.
That's a bad thing.
So let's not get too far into all the accolades because there's a bunch that come up in the questions. But you just chimed in with macros. So like, do you know how to do this? Do you do this?
I have done it. So last summer, prior to the NHL officials exposure combine, where it's basically
Where was that?
Buffalo, New York,
Okay.
the Harbor Center. So it's they run us through the same tests that their league's officials go through, and body fat testing is one of the
It's the worst day of the year for
Is
me.
it really? Oh, I hate
Worst
body
day.
fat testing.
Can't stand it.
Because then you go
You
to
don't
fat
like being
camp or
pinched?
not.
Nope. The pinchers are just not anybody's
the
friends.
pinchers are, and if you get the bad trainer, you get the good trainer, and they like pinch with the actual pincher. You get the bad trainer, they pinch with the hand
know what they
first,
go in
and
there?
then they squeeze that thing in.
Do you know what the trick is that they do? So if you come in like in
Flex?
just no, just like your first day of the off-season program,
Yeah.
like they're not going to pinch very hard.
Okay.
Because they want those numbers up, and then at the end of that off-season program, or when you report for
They're
training
digging
camp, now they're going to pinch in a little bit more because
Yep.
if my numbers are better, they look better.
They look better. Okay.
So
That
if
makes
you
sense.
go in the off-season, it might be a little bit higher just
Okay.
The
because
baseline.
The baseline.
Yeah, well, we didn't have a baseline. We just had one test.
Yeah, that's not.
Okay.
I hate that day. Oh,
So we, I did buy
very-
the scale. I bought the scale that Stevie Raynone sent me. We're addicted to this app because it provides charts. Charts are a big thing. Like I'm a chart guy too. So when I see a chart that's like going down like this and like the weight aspect, I'm excited.
it's positive reinforcement.
When it's going up in the sales aspect, I'm excited, right? So like I'm seeing the thing starting to go down, but it also does gauge your
just going to adjust my
BMI.
seat for a second. Hold on.
Just bounced up
Just
and
a
down.
little bit.
It's
So here's a
what's
little
this?
graph.
Yeah, graph.
Yeah,
like what are
graph.
you using?
Well, so this is RP, Renaissance Periodization. And it's a lot of work, but it works.
This
So-
is
What
a
like
lot.
what do you
So
mean a
it-
lot of work?
So you're counting everything that
2
you put-
grapes?
Put it, yeah. You're weighing it. So you get a kitchen
You have to
scale.
screw that.
Yeah.
That's not
That's
happening.
way too much.
It's
That's-
a lot of work, but if
that's
you're
too
looking to lose some lbs, it's the real deal. So basically, it breaks down based on your personal goals and your time frame. You can enter if you want 3, 4, 5 meals a day, and it breaks down
5.
the amount of protein, carbs, and fat you get in every meal.
Okay.
So this is a very high protein diet. And then it breaks it down per meal. So the peanut
Okay.
butter, I learned very quickly because I used to take a spoonful of peanut butter per bite of banana.
Little energy.
Huge in the fat numbers.
Oh
Bad,
God,
no,
huge.
bad.
So like
Huge.
one
Huge.
spoonful
Massive.
is
That's
like
actually why I suggested you eat peanut butter at night.
Yeah, no. Let me tell you exactly what I ate yesterday, and we'll count these.
All
Okay.
right.
So yesterday was black coffee in the morning, so nothing.
That's great.
Right. Water, all
Okay,
water,
wow. You're
or
on a roll.
seltzer, or seltzer. So
right.
all the way through till lunch, I had 2 packets of tuna fish
Okay.
in sunflower oil.
protein. Okay,
In
there's your
sunflower
fat.
oil. Okay. Went home.
Okay.
Was excited. Great day. This is how
had
hungry I
12
was.
beers.
Nope. Didn't have any beers. This is how hungry I was, though. I stopped at the fish market, and I was like, I'm going to cook fish tonight. And then my wife called me and said that she was going somewhere with the kids. She went to the Van Gogh thing.
Yeah.
Have you heard-
Oh.
Yep.
So went to that, and then
good.
they went out to eat. So I was like on my own. So I go to the fish market. I'm like, wow, this all looks really good, because I was starving. So I bought like a little dish of the jumbo shrimp, big jumbo shrimp, like the big ones, right?
Cocktail shrimp.
So
Big
those,
jumbo
no, but they
shrimp.
were like jumbo jumbos. They were huge. So I bought 4 of those. I ate 4 of those. I also got a thing of coleslaw, small thing of coleslaw, very small, like a scoop, right? And then I was like, I'm gonna get a couple of those big swordfish fillets, but I'll have one, and then I'll cook the other one and give it to like Tracy when she gets home. I ate the whole thing because I was starving, but that's all I ate all night, just all fish protein.
So you
Pretty
might
much.
not be getting enough carbs in that meal.
I
that
want
day.
0.
He's
I
not-
want
he's not
0
well
carbs.
balanced.
0 carbs.
You need some.
Because my kidneys will fail because they've done it before.
Yeah.
My kidneys in 2018, I would wake up in the middle of the night like clutching the bed like I'm in pain because I was in like ketosis deep, like when you pee on those sticks. When you pee on the stick that I was doing, it was like purple.
Congrats, you're pregnant.
Yeah. No, the ketosis sticks.
Maybe
You ever-
that's,
you
maybe
ever done
that's the
those?
reason he's just looking this way right now.
No, looking this way, I'm trimming down. These jeans fit perfect today. Boom, I'm back. 36s.
Summer's coming.
There you go.
36s. So macro counting. I didn't expect
It
to go
works.
there with you.
It works.
By the way, this wasn't on the approved questions list.
Nope. Let's backtrack.
Are we okay with that? Okay.
Let me get on my notes.
All right. Okay, so you know what you're doing then.
I've done it, and it works.
Did you go to school for this?
No. A friend of mine
Mm-hmm.
she was a hockey ref, played at Dartmouth, played rugby, like bigger bone.
Yeah.
Did it a couple times and had a 6-pack, and I was like, that works.
A couple times she did it?
Wait.
So it's
I need to do this one time.
8-week program.
8-week program.
Is your cut. So
See,
they do
that's not that far.
cuts,
No.
maintenance.
You
bulk.
did like hear her say how hard it is.
Let's
like
get a scale.
A scale, weighing shit.
Way
and
too
like
much.
But it works.
no.
Whatever. I tell you what, you could wait the
unless
last
you
10
unless you
days-
bring in like a personal chef in here,
Yeah.
and somebody to like weigh the food and record it on that
Mm-hmm.
app, it's not gonna happen.
I could pretty much probably backdate the last 9 days what I ate, weighing it
A
all.
lot of tuna packets.
Until 6 p.m. at night, I could tell you.
But now
exactly.
you're gonna go the other way where they say probably too much tuna is a bad thing.
They do
You're
because of
not-
mercury.
that-
Yeah.
Like you're so obsessive compulsive when you get on one track.
I thought I mercury poisoned
you think
myself.
you're getting
a few
healthier,
years
you're
ago, too.
probably getting more unhealthy.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Like, but we're gonna get skinny. We're gonna get. So, all right. So you had a friend that got shredded on it. That makes sense. Now you're
Because
doing
I
the
never
pellet.
believe those commercials with those different
Yeah.
plans that are show one person and then 200 pounds less in the
Trust
next
me, I'm
photo.
taking
just
the
waiting-
pictures. I'm taking the pictures.
I'm just waiting for a pill. There's got to be something coming
It's
out.
like
at
in the
some
Hunger
point
Games.
where-
There's a lot of
There's
pills out
gotta
there.
be.
No, there's a real one though. There's like in the Hunger Games when they go to the Capitol. Remember, they take the train to the Capitol, and all these people are eating lavish foods and drinking, and then they take a pill and they stay skinny.
that's
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Oh yeah.
That's what we
That's
need.
got to be easy.
It's not. Apparently, it would already be out, and I would own it. So, okay. So, you went to school at Brown.
I did.
Can we say that? That's
Why-
on the
why
list.
can't
You just said it.
Okay. Well, we can beep anything out we want.
Oh.
That's just so you know. What did you study there?
Business econ and psych.
Ooh, psych.
So I started with psych,
Yeah.
more so because that's what my teammates did. Brown has an open curriculum, and they
Mm-hmm.
now it's all online. But back in the day, they sent you a nice thick 400-page catalog of courses and said pick 4. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I reached out to my teammates, and they gave me some class selections and
Okay.
said go with these, and ended up kind of going down the psychology path, and then realized I wasn't sure if that would
I don't know.
lead me in a direction of a career path. So then I
Mm-hmm.
switched over to business econ and.
Business is a little easier than maybe psych. I don't want to get
But
inside
if you use
brains.
it, can you use it both at the same time to evaluate someone and what they're?
It's like Wendy on
right? Yeah.
Wendy on
I
Billions.
do every day.
Yeah, Wendy
Yeah.
Wendy on Billions.
Yes.
That's exactly what that is. So there's Frank, our CFO.
Just-
Wendy on Billions is exactly that job.
Yes.
Business and psych together, maximizing performance. Okay.
Where,
so that's good.
where else besides Brown? I mean, Brown is legit. I mean, you
Yeah.
got to be.
I mean, did you get accepted at like all the Ivies?
Yeah.
So funny. I
Or
actually
you just pick. I just want to go to Brown.
heading into spring break of my senior year of high school. BC was the place I was going.
What happened between
Place you were
spring
going.
break
Did
and
you
fall?
commit?
I-
You already committed?
Verbally committed.
Ooh.
What happened
And
between
got-
spring break and fall?
I went to the Bahamas and came back and,
Said, "I wanna
and
go to
Brown said I
Brown
moved
instead?"
up on their list. So I was kind of down the pecking order on the coach's radar, and I think a few other people.
But Brown was probably your number one choice then from the beginning.
yeah,
Of wanting
it was
to go.
up there. Yep. And so yeah.
Any other Ivies on that list? Or is the Ivy thing? Did that need to
There
happen?
were some
or?
other Ivies on my list, but I wasn't so much on their
Okay,
list.
gotcha,
so.
gotcha. Okay. So when you were growing up, though, just hockey or other sports? Like, what were the other sports?
No, I played everything I can get my hands on. So growing
Yep.
up, I played soccer in the fall, hockey in the winter, softball in the spring, and then those sports through high school. Played lacrosse. They didn't have lacrosse growing up. So I jumped into lacrosse my junior year of high school,
Mm-hmm.
gave that a shot. So played a lot of sports.
We've been talking about that. The crossover with hockey seems to be lacrosse now.
Yeah.
For
Like
sure.
you get a lot of hockey athletes that are playing lacrosse because it's not really a somewhat of a similar game with like the motion of it, right?
And
You can
also
go
it's
behind the
timing.
net.
It's timing because that hockey season is so goddamn long.
Timing works, yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you can't play. If you're in a club team now, you're playing from August to March,
Yep.
and when winter sports are out, fall's out, and it's basically the spring
Mm-hmm.
lacrosse season where they can play another sport.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Or
The
over
sports
the
are
summer.
similar. There's
Yeah,
so,
they
many,
are.
so many parallels. I just watched the Brown men were the NCAA tournament, went to their game. I mean, it's unbelievable how they just wind
they
up.
hit
It's
amazing. hard.
Yeah, it's
There's
amazing.
no
the
equipment.
difference,
Yeah.
the difference in sport between the women's and the men's game.
it's
It's
huge.
just like a completely different game.
Yeah, because
Night
you
and day.
can't, like, I don't know what they call
There's
it,
a
like
bubble.
stick check.
There's
you
a
can't
bubble
hit
in the
in
women's
women's
game.
Bubble
lacrosse,
on the
right?
head, like
Yeah,
head
yeah,
area, right?
yeah.
And as long as the ball's up by the head, you
Can't do anything.
touch them
Yeah.
at all.
So you just get a
Yeah.
sprinter and give them the ball and
They
have
just
them
go.
take it. And
Maybe we should get the kids playing that.
My
Feels
kid's
like
playing.
something.
My kid's playing one.
Maybe
One of
we're
my
like
kids is
that.
playing it.
Well, right now, you know what I'm going to get trapped in.
Oh,
Trapped
yeah,
is a
yeah.
bad word.
golf.
No.
We're playing. We do plenty of that with the kids. But my oldest daughter, she's 8. She loves listening to this, by the way. So she'll
Really?
hear her name, Raina. Yeah, she'll hear that and like grin. In
Maybe
the
I should
backseat of
watch
the car.
the F bombs and all that stuff.
Well,
at some
no,
point.
she hears that because we either listen to this or Wu-Tang Clan on the way to school. So
Usually just say locker room talk.
yeah,
Whatever's
exactly.
said here.
Earmuffs.
You know what I'm
Earmuffs,
saying.
and then you can say whatever you
Yeah.
want. Like old
Earmu-
school.
Yeah, old school. Earmuffs,
Balls.
Raina.
That's so funny.
See, can't hear a thing.
Yeah. So with where was I going? I was thinking softball. So she's getting great at softball right now. She loves it, right? And I'm watching these crazy like advances like week to week just because it's repetitive. Like, 2 months ago if you threw a ball up in the air, she'd be like and like catch it over here. Now she's like throw it as high as you can. Like, and I want to catch it with one hand above my head. And it's like
Nice.
it's like really fast, like, growth. And it's just because she's doing it.
Reps.
So we get
Getting those
asked.
reps.
We get asked the other day. A couple of the coaches come up and they're like, "Hey, we want her to play on this travel team. That we have together. There's like a spot open," and I'm like, "I would love for her to do this." We kind of already have like the summer kind of baked though in terms of, this weekend we're going here or something's happening here, and they have like a 6-week schedule where it's like there's big tournaments. They're all in Rhode Island, which isn't too bad.
wow.
I think maybe one's in Mass, maybe.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
No. It's Friday,
The
Saturday,
full
Sunday.
weekend.
Yeah,
Friday,
Friday,
Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday.
they could be up in Vermont.
Right.
But it doesn't taking
it's the
up
same
a whole
thing. I
weekend.
get it.
There's
And
hockey tournaments happening
that's-
right now. For
Yeah, no, they go all
Friday,
summer.
Saturday, Sunday. And I'm
Yeah,
like, do
he's
these
doing-
kids go to school? They
That's
start
on the
7
list.
a.m. on a Friday
Yeah,
morning.
yeah. Usually, sometimes Fridays come in. They come into play during the winter too. It's
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
it's
it's
absolutely
crazy.
insane
Yep.
So-
how they do it.
And I think you have the same. We've said this a bunch of times on here. We have the same kind of vision on this where I'm not going to force, especially at this age, I have a 6 and 8-year-old, right? I'm not going to force them to do any specific activity. I've always been, and my wife has too, in the camp of what they ask to do, we'll put them in.
Yep.
And if they want to continue it, they do. If they don't, they might tell us they don't like it. It's like, hey, you wanted to be in it though. Let's go through the season. She's into softball.
Nice.
But I told the coach when they asked about this, I said, "You're not selling me on it. Like, I want her to want to do it. So if you want her to play in this thing, you got to talk to her. This is like if you want her playing it, you got to ask her. She's the one playing,
so now
not
she's
me.
making your plans for the
So-
next 8
Oh,
weeks.
there's
what-
a lot of weekends on
no,
that
but
plan too.
there's a lot of weekends. What I think she's going to be like though is I don't know if she's confident enough to do it. She's definitely good enough to do it right now. But I think she wants to get another season under her belt. This is the first time she's ever put a glove on, and she's getting the hang of it. So I think we might do a little winter session. I've been actually
You
trying
thought
to.
you were playing golf this summer.
Yeah, I did think that. That's
tell you,
that's gone.
I was at the dance competition this weekend, which is another thing too.
Oh, your dance
Dance
competitions.
Dad.
Dance
are-
competition
yours
for
are
one.
Crazy.
There were, I want to say, 3 girls in those softball. I'm not going to say the
Softball
name.
uniforms?
I'm not going to say the name of the program, but that uniform
Yep.
at the dance competition, coming to and from games.
Bombers, you could say.
Okay, Bombers.
Yeah.
and
Wow.
it's a heavy lift.
Boy,
and
the
problem,
dance, you've been
I'd
involved.
rather do the heavy lift in the winter when they're in school and everything's going
Yeah.
on than the summer.
No, I want them to be kids, you know.
So
and I remember having this too. Like we didn't have crazy elite teams, and I'm sure you used to this, but if we played Legion baseball, we had a Legion baseball game, and then we all went fishing and we went swimming in the kids' pool, and we like did a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah.
And our parents weren't like, you're going to be in this travel program, and then this one on Tuesdays, and this practice on Wednesdays. We didn't have that. We had one practice and probably one game, or like we might not have had practice. We might just have been like, hey, we
Go
got
out
a
and
Legion
play.
game tonight.
Yeah,
I've
just
been
go out
swimming
and play.
all day. I'm
Go play on the
exhausted.
basketball court. Go play a pickup baseball game or whatever.
Design
and then
your
you
own
get that-
game.
Yeah.
Design your own rules.
Yeah.
But now when you get in as a parent, now I'm like, I really would like her to do this because I've seen how fast she's gotten better, and it's like I know that like more reps is just going to help that.
Oh, here he goes.
There's
This is
scholarships
where
out
it
there.
starts.
Yeah, no,
this
it's
is
not
where
a
it
scholarship
starts.
thing. It's just the rep thing.
Here it
and like,
comes.
And here's the other part: softball. Did you play soft? No, you played
Yes.
lacrosse.
Softball
But
through
until you said high
10th
school.
grade, yeah.
Got it.
Do you pay attention?
Yeah, no, I was just trying to iron it out, trying to map it out. So the thing I have no clue on, everybody's like, oh, you know, you must be able to teach her how to hit and throw and all this stuff. Yeah, there's like some basics, but tell you what I know nothing about is how to pitch a softball.
Oh,
It's like I have no relevance there whatsoever. So I've actually been trying to teach myself a little bit, just watching like, you know, Jenny Finch teaching videos and like Jessica Mendoza, was that another
Yeah,
one?
yeah,
like
yeah.
all the
Yes.
teaching videos on like how to do it. And I'm trying to like in my back hitting that
you're gonna
for the golf net.
You're gonna throw
I'm
out
out
your
there.
shoulder or something.
No,
like that.
No, it saves your
totally
shoulder. Is it?
totally natural for your shoulder.
All right.
Which is weird.
What about your elbow?
That could be a problem, but there's a lot of things I'm trying to learn to do it so that
We
that
should
way
set
I
up
can
a
teach
camera
her.
in that cage and
We could, yeah. I
See
can
your
show you.
progress
It's
over
not
the
great.
summer.
It's
I'll
not
tell you
great.
what, they can whiz it. They can chuck it.
Here's the thing.
Those
It's
elite
all
ones, and they're
about-
close,
for
so
the-
it feels like it's going faster.
for the viewers. It's all about this wrist flip. It's all about this wrist flip, right? It's the opposite of what I've ever done. My wrist flip was always here, like up here, right? Now it's like upside down. It's tough to do. So I'm learning how to do it.
All right.
Anybody who's a great softball coach that's a viewer or a listener, please, the primers out there, send me any advice that you have. Because this is something that's serious now, and softball's going to
Oh boy,
take a big
You're
part
in.
of my summer.
You're in
right?
this
Okay.
summer or next summer?
Probably next summer.
Okay.
Probably next summer. We might get away with this one.
did the coach give her a deadline?
Well, try to give me one, but I was like, listen, you're not selling me. Like, I would do it in a heartbeat, and you know, if the schedule worked out, but like, you gotta convince her. So we'll see how he does tonight. We got a game tonight, 6:00. Playing. I laugh so hard with the. There's a team. God, what's the name of it? Something Midland Ammo. So, like, you know, these are 8-year-old girls softball teams. Like, my daughter's on, like, Dave's Marketplace. Like, this team's,
Hey,
like,
thanks for the sponsorship.
Midland Ammo. It's like a gun and ammo place. Like, there's, like, a
is it
bullseye on the
Mid-State?
shirt.
Is it
Mid-State.
Mid-State?
That's
Yeah.
it, Max. That's it.
They're gonna come
Yeah.
in with like eye black on and
Yeah.
like
funny.
all geared up.
Yeah, so we got them tonight. Big tilt at 6
Great,
o'clock.
good luck to the team.
What about like the locker room? Do you have locker room stories? Was it like as much camaraderie, bus trips and everything, and like college hockey? We talked to Tiffany about this one time. So
Yeah, I think that's one thing that differentiates hockey from other sports is you have that quality time in the locker room beforehand. So I played boys hockey all the way through 9th grade. So my brother's 4 years older. He started playing when he was 7 or 8. My sister's 3 years older. She started playing. I was dragged to the rink. So when I turned 6, I was like, all right, it's my turn.
Yep.
And, I think my sister kind of paved the way for me, but I was the only girl in my team and in my age and my division all the way through pretty much. So I got to high school, was playing with the boys, and that's when, to your point on the locker room talk, my locker room transitioned to the women's public bathroom.
Got it.
So I used to have my bag underneath the 2 sinks. I
Yep.
was getting dressed in there as moms were filtering through, asking me if I played hockey, which I thought was a quite a logical question as I was gearing up
Yeah,
with
putting
them.
skates on.
Hold on,
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
get this out
Stepping
of my
over.
bag real quick.
Yep.
And so I think that's when it kind of sunk in that I was missing out on that team dynamic, which is a huge part of it. And so that's when I switched over to girls hockey. I went to Deerfield Academy. Really by chance, one of my coaches all the way through youth hockey was also a referee, and he was reffing a game. And back then, you didn't make a highlight video at age 12. It was really more word of mouth. And so the coach asked my coach if he knew of any girls that played, and ironically, he did. So I kind of worked my way into the prep school world, which then paved the way for me to carry on and play D1 college.
How was the transition from the boys to the women's? Because I mean, the speed or whatever that you're playing at in 9th grade, and then going to Deerfield.
Yeah, that's
how did
pretty
that,
old. You must have been like blown by people at some point.
Plus, that's full checking too.
Exactly, yeah. And so I was a bit of a grinder.
You came in as the goon.
I had my fair share of penalties. My freshman year at Brown, our team went to the NCAA finals up at UNH, and we were the 4th seed going in. They took 4 teams back in the day, and so we were 4 playing against number 1 Minnesota, and I was on the 3rd line. I was the grinder. My job was just to get the puck out of our D zone, get it in deep, and let the scorers get out there and do their job. And I just lit somebody up at the blue line. Like, she was coming across, and I was like, I'm not letting her in our zone, and just leveled her. And that hit made the NCAA highlight video for the next year.
Can we find that somewhere?
Might
we might
be
have
able
to dig that
it.
up.
Max,
might be able to dig it up.
Yeah, Max will dig.
What's quite ironic is years later, I found out that the player that I hit from Minnesota also referees hockey.
That's
So
how it works.
We had a chat about it a couple years ago.
Remember Joe? Was it Joe Duggan? Max, we got to get him on.
Oh, the guy. You
my
hit in the
last pitch I ever threw was hit a guy right in the middle of the back, and like it comes back around to you sometimes. Like I messaged him, and he was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "I don't remember that at all because it was so soft." But we do have to get him on the podcast. He was fun.
What's the difference between the girls' game and the boys' game? Hockey.
I think you just said it.
Is it checking?
I think the speed and the physicality. I mean, you get a U.S.-Canada
so
women's
lacrosse
game.
is like hugely different. Is the women's ice hockey game hugely different too?
No. The only difference in the rule book is body checking versus body contact. So you watch a high-level women's game, and you might not realize that there's not body checking allowed.
Because they're still bodying up a lot. They're still kind of hitting each other a little bit.
You've got to go for the puck.
Yeah,
right?
So you angle, right? So I always tell players, if you have 2 hands on your stick and you're angling them and you make contact, it's legal. But as soon as you take a hand off your stick or you lower your shoulder, now your intent is to play the body as opposed to play the puck.
Okay.
But there's definitely a lot of contact. And it's fun because the higher levels, they're able to stay on their feet more, and there's more, which allows for more contact.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. So now let's transition to reffing.
All right.
Right? Because we have a lot of questions on this. In the middle of that, though, what I like to talk about a little is, were there any like fun words that you say? Because Dan always gets lost when we say, like, when I have like a baseball guy on, he's like, this language is so hilarious. So like when we're talking about
hockey language.
Hockey language. Is there anything that sticks out to you? Because like when there's a hockey game on and I don't really know what's going on, I'm always just like, skate, or I'm like,
I think that's what every parent in the stands at a youth game yells.
No, like I'm like screaming like skate, or I'm like you gotta get the puck in deep. You got to get it in there deep. I
love when coaches yell skate on the bench.
Right? Like, so those things are the only things I know. But I think all of the jargon.
To me, skate, though, is just like, hey, stop.
Hustle.
Yes.
Let's go.
Stop being lazy.
Right.
So, work harder.
But then you go down, and my buddy Marsh will love this episode because he played hockey pretty competitively, and then he was a great baseball player with me in college. But he always like shoots words to me all the time where if I have a hat on, he calls it like a bonnet, and like that's what he...
Toque.
Yeah, but he calls it like a bonnet, like a helmet, or he says like nice sneakers, like those mean skates, like all these different words, and I'm like, I don't know what any of this stuff means. Do you know any?
No.
What am I trying to say?
Really.
Like, what are the other words that we're trying to say? Like grocery stick, that's one where you keep sliding down like the bench. You never play. You just become the thing that they keep putting between the shifts.
All
Grocery
right.
stick?
Yeah, grocery stick.
That's a new one.
Yeah. You haven't heard that
There's
one?
there's a whole page, whole website.
Oh, there's a massive page of them, I'm sure. But are there any that stick out to you? Is there something that you find yourself saying that you're like...
New ones to me.
Goalie
No?
standing
Okay.
on his head or her head.
Yeah,
Right?
standing on your head. What's that mean?
Oh, is that new to you?
No.
It's just, I don't get what it means. What's it mean? Why would you be standing on your head?
I mean, I think the Tampa goalie stood on his head the last couple of games.
What's that?
against
What's that
Florida.
mean though? Is that like I get that it's
Lights
a good
out.
thing? You're just lights out.
Yeah.
He's in the zone.
Okay.
He's a brick wall.
Okay. Brick wall.
Brick wall again.
Sieve. Isn't that something
Civ
people chant?
is a bad thing, I think.
Yeah, you're like Swiss cheese. Yeah. Okay.
Some holes or whatever.
I would love to know where standing on his head came from because I mean, back in the day,
That's
the
usually what
goalies,
Tip does.
The goalies used to play.
Max, perfect thing to look up. Word staring. This is a great. Remember how we look for what do we call them? Idioms or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your little
what-
cliches.
Figure out what standing on your head means for a goalie. It's
I
gonna
think
say he's
back
playing
in the
well,
day
but-
when the goalies had the 2-pad stack, where they would just lay out.
We
Now
don't
goalies
know.
are more
We don't know what a
butterfly
2-pad
style.
stack is. See, that's
Two-pack
that's like-
stack.
So
What's that?
the
It
goalies
sounds
have
awesome.
2 pads, so they used to
Yep.
just lay out with the 2 pads and stack
Yep.
them up on top of each other. Now goalies are more butterfly style, where they're going down.
Yep, and they flip out wide.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Okay.
So
Because you know what's crazy? This is what I don't understand. You're a goalie. I mean, you're a ref, so you'll know. You know when the goalie goes like across the crease hard when somebody's coming around the net,
Yeah.
like, and they're gonna like, what do you call it, wrap around? How does that net not come off more often? Because they're slamming their skate into that thing on the post, like back and forth and back and forth, and you watch that net pop off a lot. Was there a reason why it's like not popping off every time the goalie goes side to side?
It has
Well-
pins in it.
I get it. I get
there
that.
are pins that are in the
Are you
ice.
showing me something here?
No, I'm pulling up because this year I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to think of what game it was. The Minnesota State game in their league championship.
Mm-hmm.
That exact situation happened.
Where goalie went side to side, knocked the net off, but they probably scored a goal, right? And it went off.
Is that the one where they went in the locker room and
40 minutes later,
celebrated the actual win? Came back out onto the ice and finished
Lost?
the game. And I think they ended up losing.
They fortunately for the
Oh,
refs.
never mind.
Yeah.
They won?
They ended up winning. Like
Okay,
they
double
win it.
celebration. What a night.
The refs went in and talked to him after, had to bring out, talk to the league commissioner, the athletic
Yep.
directors.
Wow.
And be like, hey, you guys got to come back out. That wasn't a goal.
That's
So
what's
that
crazy.
situation happened.
right?
So the goalie slid across. The player came down the wing and slid it in, and the goalie's skate was hugging the post.
Yeah, so it
right
popped it
directly
off,
against
right?
the post. So when he slid across, it lifted the net just enough. So the pegs are these rubber pegs that probably go in 6 to 8 inches.
Yep.
So it kind of bounced up a little bit and slid in. And they have cameras, but they didn't detect it. And so the commissioner came out, presented the trophy, the teams got off the ice. Then at that point, I think somebody went to the commissioner and said, we don't think that went in. And it was, I heard
Wow.
it, I don't know that the refs had already left the building, and then all the fans left the building. And then 40 minutes later, they said that wasn't a goal because that's what happened. The net lifted up just enough to slide the puck under.
Wow.
It went under, and they had.
Is that your stomach again? Did you hear that again? Dude.
all he said today is a coffee, water, and he's soon to have
can hear it
two-packs.
through the mic.
Gurgle? That was your stomach.
It's because he listens with his mouth
Dude,
open.
that's
No,
two
I
weeks-
don't. I listen.
That's
My mouth
2
was
weeks.
closed.
I'm sorry, Katie. That's 2 weeks in a row. All I hear just weird noise in my ear.
Because he hasn't eaten anything today.
I looked over at Max pointed at me, and I was like, I wonder if he heard that. He's like, oh, I got you. I wonder what the clip will
Oh
be
my
this
god.
week.
Is that a good day for a ref or a bad day? Or is
my
that
gosh.
just failed
You gotta feel
like the
bad.
censors or is that just not their fault?
There's so many camera angles these days that it's just very unfortunate.
Do
that
they
it-
review every goal though?
in playoffs?
Oh. But
Yep.
in that game would they have reviewed that goal?
Yes.
And they missed it.
Yes.
So they fucked up.
So I feel like
So somehow there was another camera angle. Sometimes the TV angles aren't all the ones that are seen up top.
Yep.
And so somehow there was another camera angle that detected it because we all saw that one after. But the poor refs, I mean, they brought the fans back into the arena and just lit the refs up when they got on the ice.
Yeah, that's a bad.
This was one of your questions. That you wanted to ask. This is
And then,
Yeah.
fortunately, I mean, they ended up winning less than 2 minutes into the because this was overtime. Mm-hmm. So goal
Yep.
score, game over. So luckily, it ended very quickly, and for that the same team.
Yeah.
But yeah, the poor refs in that situation. You know.
Let's go through this part because I know you have some questions on this, and I do. How did the reffing thing happen? And then, I mean, you're literally like in like news articles all the time. Like you're a high profile ref. You can say compliment.
All right.
No, you are. I mean, like you're in. I mean, so you've done AHL games.
The first woman.
Yep.
To officiate.
And then you just went down. What was it, a month or two ago? You were reffing something. Or it was the women's championship,
Pro
right?
League, the PHF,
Yep.
Premier Hockey
And you were.
Federation.
And you were. So you're doing. You're not just. You're not reffing the 9:30 men's league game at Thayer Arena.
Sometimes
right?
I do.
Do you really?
Gotta get
Do you really?
practice.
I was at Foxborough the other day.
So you are doing some of
at
that.
9:30. Yeah.
What about the 11? You're not
Here-
doing the 11.
I was filling in for somebody. And
Okay.
I think it was a 9 p.m. start.
So
and they were a
sometimes
little
you're
late.
jumping out there on those. Now,
Yeah, it's
so
entertaining.
How did you get into it?
yeah, how'd that happen?
So my playing career came to an end, and at that time there was no women's pro league, which there is now, and I really just missed being around the rinks. So I had been involved in the game since I was 6 years old, and then all of a sudden it came to a screeching halt, and so I was playing in a women's league. I moved back in with my parents out in Western Mass and was driving out to Marlborough to play a women's adult league on Sunday afternoons, 12-minute periods, so a 36-minute game, and I
Yeah,
was
you're
driving
playing
an
once a
hour.
week.
You got to
an
get off
hour
the ice in an
plus.
hour, people. Let's go. Or 50 minutes.
50 minute
50
ice
minutes.
time.
We got to get the
I was
Zamboni
driving
out.
an hour plus to get there, and then an hour plus to back. And this is when gas prices had first spiked to over $4. And I was like,
welcome back
whoa,
to hell.
I'm a business econ major. I'm realizing that this
Yeah.
math doesn't add up. So maybe if
expensive
I
game.
were to just ref, and it was the first time I was paying my way to play. So my parents were good to me in that sense all the way through. And now it was my turn to pay my dues. And I said, whoa, this is getting expensive. Maybe if I refed a couple games before my game, I can at least just make it a wash for the night. And so I
That's smart.
got certified and went out there and had realized very quickly I had no ideas about any of the rules of hockey, even though I had played for 15, 16
I still am
years.
so confused sometimes. Like when I'm watching the
Icing.
game on TV, I get icing. I get that. I understand it. Two-line pass, is that still a thing?
That's not a thing anymore.
That was
That was?
probably 20 years
Why do
ago.
I think that that's a thing?
Because it was a hard thing to understand, and it's gone.
That's why they got rid of it. What's the
Sorry.
icing
You
signal?
might confuse
What's the
two-line
icing sign?
pass
Is it up?
straight up.
Straight up?
Yeah. Do you have a bad
Okay.
elbow?
Yeah. That almost whacked, actually. Straight up. Okay.
You might be getting two-line pass confused with a pass from the defensive zone into the attacking zone if they receive it off sides.
Yeah.
I get the
Well, that's
offside.
just
So that's
offsides.
offsides,
Yeah.
but it goes back to
Yeah.
the point of the pass.
Right.
So it actually, the face-off will go back to the D
What
zone.
I think
Yeah.
is such a skill is the ability to not go off sides. When these people are on like the attack, right? And it's just because I didn't play. So and like you don't feel like this sometimes. You're watching hockey and they're moving and like somebody's just slowing down enough so that they're on sides, or somebody's just speeding up enough so that everybody's on sides. That to me is like a dance.
What's that term that they like holding the line or something? Is it holding the line or something when they come and they
Straddle the line.
straddle or extending the line? Basically, so they turn sideways and they keep their speed.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then once it goes, then they go back into
yeah,
it.
and it's
But
like
you know what? I actually disagree with you. It blows my mind at the lower levels how they go offside so much. It's like you
Yeah.
can't cross this line until the puck goes into the
I
zone.
know, but it's. I
So,
think
like,
it's tough to
you
like
just have
when
to
you
wait.
can't stop like me. I'm like, how am I supposed to slow down? We're going. You know, like I was
what-
playing.
The game is all about timing, so
Yeah.
that's just one situation.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
what
watch
it
at
is.
the
It's like
lower
a
levels,
dance.
even in
It's like a
college.
dance.
At
it's
what
like
age? Lower levels like high school, college are still going off sides?
all the way, yeah, all the way through.
Oh, I was thinking mites or like squirts. I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
have
no.
you seen the youth nowadays? Come
Yeah,
on. These kids come
well,
along
now
slowly.
it's automatic offsides at the youth
I don't
level.
like that. Why can't we do
no.
delayed offsides at the youth level? Why can't you just
So
teach them
that
the
just
game?
changed a few years ago, 2 years ago. So they're trying to build more skill development.
Okay.
So instead of being able to just, you have pressure in the neutral zone and you just throw the puck away.
So
now
there's a
they're
reason
trying
behind it.
to
Is
have
that
the
USA
play-
Hockey?
Yeah. So they're trying to have the players regroup. So pass D to D, curl, and then break in with speed and with a.
Do we agree with this? Or do you, as an official, is it easier? Or, I mean, you're just blowing the whistle
Yeah, I mean,
every
but it
second.
just slows those games down so much
lot.
more.
Yeah.
I think for skill development, you see, kids adjust, right? So you do see over the course of a season the kids adjusting and making those passes, and it's fun to watch the skill level improve because of rules like that. But as far as
when does delayed offsides come back? Or
it's all the way through youth right now.
So high school, or is that youth too?
They use different rules, but yeah. So high school.
Still offsides?
No, delayed offsides.
Okay, so up to bantam or whatever, probably.
14,
okay.
yeah.
I never understood the names.
Yeah, it took a while to get
Mites,
the names.
bantams,
That
and
in
majors
birth years. That in birth years.
Yeah, because you go by the
Like
birth year.
09
Right.
or whatever, and then they always
crazy.
change because you're second level peewee or whatever. I just never understood it. And then don't even get in the draft. I don't even understand the draft.
Who was your hockey role model growing up?
As a kid, I wore number 99
Who's that?
early on, which is very ironic. So when I got to the AHL, they just handed me a jersey,
Oh, was it 99 on the
and
sleeve?
it happened to be 99.
That is
Do we
sweet.
still have it?
Oh, I would have cried. That would have been a cry zone
well,
for me.
I had to submit it. I think it's up north.
So-
up in Toronto.
Submitted it to the Hall of Fame.
there you go.
So now,
nice.
so then they gave me 25, but I took a lot of heat for that number, which
Yeah, no one's allowed to
from-
wear 99.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But why did they hand it to me? You
That
know,
feels like there's a reason for that.
I don't know.
They just-
It may have
I
just
don't
been a
think you
leftover
don't just
jersey
pick
sitting in the
99.
closet. I don't know.
So you got some Hall of Fame. You got some garb
Yeah.
up there. You're in the hall.
Yeah,
kinda,
it's up
right?
there.
That's amazing.
Where is the hall? Toronto?
Toronto.
That's
I didn't know
amazing.
that.
That's good.
I learned something new. I
First
didn't
Hall of
know that.
Famer?
Yeah.
No, we have a few.
Who?
No, we don't have any. No, is Bruce? Will Brewski go in?
Not in the hall. I
No?
don't think. I mean, he's Patriots, but I don't think.
Look at Randy Moss. Will Randy Moss go in the Hall of Fame? Is he in?
He's in. He was a first ballot.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a first ballot.
Okay. So, how do you get the call to move up levels like that? So you were doing it like you were referencing some whether it was women's or men's leagues games to pay the bill, like to go play.
Yeah, learning the rules as they were.
Does it go to high school games and bantam and mite games after that, and then college and then pro level? Is it work?
Yeah, there's so many different paths. I was fortunate to find a mentor who had gone to the 02 and 06 Olympics and did some high-level college, and so kind of attached to her pretty quickly and did a lot of summer leagues, which at the time are pretty low-pressure situations. Now you do a summer league game with these kids, and
No, but we can get into that in a second.
Yeah.
and so learn when to put my arm up on a delayed offsides, and learned a lot about this side of the game, which I just never paid attention to.
I
as a
watched you
player.
on that ESPN2 game. You
Oh,
had like
wow.
the same face the whole time.
I know you said I looked angry.
Yeah, it was like a pursed mouth. It was just like a
Not
scowl.
pierced. I know it's not pierced.
Yeah, not pierced. You had a scowl the whole time, and I'm wondering, and Dan's wondering, how did you word it? How does it feel to be the most hated person
Well,
on the ice? Was that
No,
what it was?
first of all, this has nothing to do with you. I've never liked officials.
Yeah, not many
Ever.
people do.
I know. And when you played, how was your feelings towards officials?
Yeah, probably the same way as
I can't stand them.
Yeah,
Can't
nobody
fucking
can.
stand
Yeah.
them. And and then somebody told me this a few years ago, and it sort of made sense to me. It's like there's 3 point of views in a game, right? Actually, probably 4 if you want to go. Like the player's point of view, the fan's point of view, and the official's point of view. And you could probably throw the coach's point of view in there as well. And you got to look at everything through every angle and okay, they see things differently. We see things differently from the stands. We don't see everything. So that's sort of like calm me down. And then you sort of get into your kids and you follow them and you root for them and you want them to do good and you want them to win, especially when they get to a certain age. And 10, 9, 8, it's not about winning. But when they get older, they have to learn how to win. And they have to learn hey.
Oh, and how to lose.
And lose. Yeah, they have to, other kids on their team want to win, right? So don't be the guy that's not trying that hard or whatever, because these guys are competitive and they want to get it, and that's just the way life is. But I used to get fired up a little bit. I don't get fired up anymore. But
I need to go watch your kids.
no, I don't. I'm good now.
I bet I have a feeling that you don't say. I bet you're such a
It just drives
sheep
me nuts
now.
when
You
they
just hang out.
suck. When they suck. You know, they
the
miss
refs
blatant
and stuff?
calls.
Oh, you
And,
actually yell and stuff?
Katie, no,
He does. He does. We're going, Katie. You and I.
don't
We're
yell
going to
anymore.
the next game.
But when they just miss obvious things, and the only thing that I get upset about, it's not like an offsides or an icing or like a missed call. It's when they let the kids go to a certain point where their safety's in jeopardy.
I can see that.
You know, because now they're going after it. They're hitting into the boards. You know, when somebody could get hurt, that's what drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And then they have like a look at like they just don't care. That bothers me. So, is it harder to ref older or younger? Because I think younger is probably more intimate, where
Good
you can
question.
hear everybody in the stands, and they can see like it's a very you know, small numbers. And you can hear everything. They can hear everything you're doing.
So be careful what you say, because they can
Right.
hear
Yeah. Oh,
everything.
yeah. Live barn too. Yeah. You don't want that.
We'll see
But
on
it-
video one
He's
day.
bad.
It's got to be harder to like. Is it youth hard to coach or to ref?
For sure. There's just so much more gray area. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're less strong on their skates, so a little bump can turn into,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
It could look bad.
for sure.
Yeah.
You know, as they develop and get stronger on their edges, and they're able to stand and hold their skates, you know, upright a little bit more. There's you know, things stand out more. The higher level.
What about parents? Any good parent stories?
Oh yeah, you got to.
Did you ever? Did you
know,
ever
I-
throw? Did you ever throw out a parent?
I keep saying that I want to write everything down, because there's just so many
great
stories.
book. Yeah,
I know,
should.
and I should just start. I remember I was at Walpole a few years ago, and I feel badly for the kids, right? So to get up there and point and send some parent out there, I feel badly for that kid that has to watch it. But they're probably listening to it in the car too.
Yeah, and also
maybe they
know
would
that
appreciate
kid's-
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kid's the next asshole coming. So, you know,
So
you
I
gotta
was at
tone him
Walpole a
down.
couple of years ago, and I remember it was a boys' game, but there were a few girls on one team, and I was out there with a male ref, and some dad was up there just chirping, and I think he had said something about me being out there on the ice in a boys' U12, 14
That's
game.
That's
And
ridiculous.
so I looked up.
Give Dan, by the way, give
By the-
Dan and I that guy's name.
yeah.
Yeah, so I went over to the coach and I said, listen, like, he just needs to, it was a tournament. I said, listen, like, that dad up there in the toque. And the coach said, what's a toque? I said, well, you're not Canadian, but the hat. So I pointed up there, and as I was doing it, the dad clearly got the message and hid behind 5 women.
Yeah.
So now he was hiding. I said, listen, just go talk to him. Tell him enough's enough.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to toss him, but, like, at the same time, I mean, he just needs to calm down a little bit. And I said, he's, you know, talking about me being out here in a boys' game. And that's when the coach took offense to it, because one of the 2 girls on the ice was his daughter.
Right.
So that,
Yep.
you know, he talked to him. And the next day I had the team again. He said, listen, I talked to him. He's not going to say another word. I said, you know, it doesn't really bother me. I've heard it all. But at the same time, we all don't need to be listening to him.
Have you been doing a lot of the high level? I know you're doing high level NCAA games. Are you doing both men's and women's in that, or mostly women's?
So mostly women's.
Yep.
Went to the NCAA tournament this year. Did the semifinals the last couple of years, so 2019 and 2021. I did the championship game. I have done men's. I didn't do so much this year, but there's new assigners. So every time there's a new assigner, they kind of bring in their own personnel. But I think it was 2017. I did a game at Union College, Union Sacred Heart. So I was the first female to do Division I men's college hockey.
You're just in
and
all the
those-
firsts. You're the first for all
Well,
this.
someone's got to
Yeah.
be that first.
So you got that. You got international games. You've done the Olympics. How was that?
Amazing. So my first goal was to do an international tournament. So I had a few years under my belt. Back to your question about the pathway. For everybody, it's different. So I was able to get into the college loops pretty quickly. So I was a linesman in Division III women.
Loops.
The
I like
first
that.
year,
Good
then
word.
went to
use that more
Division
often.
I women as a linesman, then switched over to the referee. So the linesmen call icing and offsides. The
Got it.
ref call penalties and goals. They're the orange
I did know
bands.
the difference between that.
Okay.
So I don't know how,
Good
but
work.
somebody told me that one time.
Because I like asking players that sometimes, and they have no idea.
Yeah.
So
Got it.
I'm glad you know. And so my first goal was to do an international tournament. So I had the chance to go to France in 2010 and do a tournament out there, and then raise the bar. And had the goal to go to the Olympics, and it was a kind of an 8-year journey, doing one world championship each year along the way, and then in 2018 went out to Pyeongchang, South Korea, and did the Olympics out
Is that
there.
how you say
How
it?
many games did you do?
Is that how you say it?
Pyeongchang.
I did not
South
pronounce that right. The whole Olympics.
What did you say?
Not that.
Pyongyang, because that's north of the border.
I wasn't even close to either of those.
You're an
words.
Olympics guy too.
Hongchu or
You
something?
watch the Olympics.
Yeah, well, I did want
It
to.
ends in ANG.
How many
Yeah,
How many Olympic games do you do when you're out
So I did the first one, which was really cool to be able
that's
to drop
cool.
that opening puck, and then it was probably like 6.
Nice.
So I ended with Canada, Russia for the semis.
Did
So-
you?
there? How's the travel for an official going out there or for international? Is it
Yeah,
just
they take
put
care
you
of you?
up, take you up, little stipend?
For the games, they took care of us. So we were in business class all the way out there on
There
that
you go.
12-hour flight. So that was nice. The other tournaments, not so much, but
Per diem, you get a nice steak at night, or is it
yeah,
Subway?
yeah,
Is
they,
it,
they definitely
The
take care
hotel
of us.
buffet.
Yes,
Hotel
that's what it
buffet.
was, and it was amazing because
Yeah.
it had all
Yep.
the Korean food you'd want to sample. So that was great.
Now, do your crews? And so you said there's an assigner. So, like for me, and this probably fits to the NFL too a little bit. But when I was in the minor leagues, what you had were traveling umpire crews, just like we were traveling in the minor leagues. Now they'd be shifted up all the time, so you wouldn't have the same 5 guys or 4 guys, whatever it is. But you'd have a crew that would literally be in like a van, and they'd move into the hotel for 4 days for the home series, right? And then they'd be gone or whatever. And we got to know those guys really well because they were all actually our age. They're all young in baseball, where just like we're in the minor leagues at early 20s, they're in the minor leagues at early 20s trying to go up to the major leagues, right?
Yep.
So we get to know them really well. We see them at the bars, and like the guy might be behind the plate for you that night. And then like you see him at the bar, and like you're either in good mood or bad mood, like depending, right? It was never like dicey because there's like a respect there. But in football, they're all over the place, right?
Yeah, they're
'Cause
traveling in and out.
And they
But
actually
you-
have real jobs too a lot of times, right? And then they're a football referee, or is that going away?
Some
Yeah.
of them did. It
I
used to
think
be.
most of
It
them
used
do in
to be
football.
like that
Yeah.
for sure. And I don't know if they're full time yet. They
Maybe, like,
might
head
be now,
officials.
if it just happened.
Maybe like the head officials, I feel like they have to.
Wasn't
think
Ed
they're-
Hockaloo like a
He's a lawyer. He's a lawyer.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that
a lot of them
have a
did
job.
that, and then they'll. I mean, but again, it's only once a week, right? So
Right, right,
Like we
right.
fly in on Saturday, and you're out Sunday night.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're taking up. You fly in.
Yeah,
for
they're
a
not
game,
doing
you
7
can-
games a week like in baseball, right? Like
yeah,
those guys are
it's a different
nonstop.
schedule between hockey and
Right.
football,
20
so you can do
weekends
a
a
lot
year.
of different things with.
Is that what it is?
I mean, for football.
yeah,
right?
for 20. Yeah, probably. Yeah,
yeah,
for football.
20 with the preseason.
They're working
21.
less than you're going to be on
That's
the
right.
road with softball.
That's
this
right.
summer.
Yeah, that's true. So were you? Are you with your same crew all the time?
No, every league's
Or
a
is
little
it-
bit different. I know in the college it's more based on geography to save
Yep.
on travel. So one person will get mileage and 4 of us will get in a car and go. So I think, it's
Yep.
more just logistically trying to make it work.
Okay. And then would you rather be what you call it, the official or the linesman? Which one do you
Referee,
want? to
linesman.
do?
The referee?
Yeah, referee or the linesman. Which one do you want more?
I mean, everyone has their preference. I started as a linesman and have been a referee for quite some time now.
Oh, so
Can you go back?
you're saying that
Can you
you don't
switch
even do
out?
linesman stuff
So
anymore.
it's different than baseball. Do they rotate
Oh, yeah.
bases?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's pretty much you're assigned a role and that you kind of
Really? So like when people look for you, they're like, "Oh, you're a referee."
yeah.
Like you've graduated past the linesman role?
No, they're just different roles.
Different
I mean,
role? Okay.
referees, you're managing the game, you're managing the personnel. Linesmen, you're kind of watching the puck more and then
Yep.
breaking up scuffs.
What's your favorite thing to call?
Yeah. Do you have any like a Wes McCauley's? Like, I mean,
Like what's your
signature
favorite?
phrases or
Roughing?
yeah, like a roughing one or like a signal, right? Signal.
Yeah.
Signal,
Yeah.
yeah.
A signal that you do.
what's the-
like,
do you
hey,
like-
yeah.
What's-
Cross check?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
cross
well-
check, you can get some of your energy
What's-
out.
what's
No,
the
like
Katie
what's your
Gay
favorite
line?
one? Yeah, like what's your
know.
you're on the mic, it's the Olympics. You got to go up there and say it probably just in whatever. You didn't
that-
speak Chinese, right? You said it in
Well,
English?
South Korea, so
So it's not Chinese, it's Korean.
Korean.
Yeah.
And
So
no, I did not learn Korean.
okay, so if you were going to go up, the thing's on, you got to call the penalty.
They have an interpreter. Don't worry about it.
Like what do you say? Like what if it was what's a good penalty? Tripping.
Oh,
What's-
that's a good one.
What's the tripping one?
Tripping's down
White.
here, right?
Minor tripping.
Minor
That's
tripping. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
not a lot of. That's not a lot
Not
of
a lot of
oomph
energy
to it.
out of
Come
you.
on, we
Okay.
got a little bit
What
more
about
energy.
what's another good one? What's
Hooking.
hooking? Do you give like a hard hook on that? I
You
would.
know,
I'd be like, hook it.
I do, but I was just told in one of my last games that I was a little too excited about it.
Who said that?
Someone.
Okay. Okay.
Good.
If we're gonna beep that one out. Okay.
What about has any of the players talked any shit to you?
You know,
And then you have to come back and be like, "Hey, shut the fuck up."
Yeah. Stripes. What do
I
they
think
call
at
you?
all levels, people like to chirp. I mean, you watch the NHL, you know, they're chirping the whole way to the box. Then they watch themselves up on the Jumbotron and they see the penalty, and a lot of times they'll shake their head realizing, okay, yeah, I'm guilty of that. So I think it's just part of the game. But as far as respect, you know, at the pro level, it's their livelihood. You know, they're putting food on the table. So there's definitely a respect factor there. They understand that we're out there to do our job, like us or hate us. You know, we're out there to react to their actions, and so
But
a lot
they're
of
constantly talking to you.
there's a lot
They're
of chirping.
Hockey players constantly yap on
the
the
whole
ice.
time.
We
Yeah.
were like, I dealt with the umpire. And
Yep.
he was the guy behind. He's not
Yeah.
behind the line of scrimmage anymore, but just constantly, like if you call him, like
It's you.
they are
You're the person that
constantly-
dealt with them.
They are
Yeah.
constantly getting berated. As an official, though, and you playing hockey and being competitive, being strong-willed, is there a breaking point?
I wanna
Just like,
slap
come
him.
on, like I mean, that's like 60 minutes of just.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I often tell people that if I had started with youth hockey instead of college, that I wouldn't still be doing it.
Yeah. That's
Well,
a
I think my
good-
breaking point is more at the youth level.
Okay.
Yep.
When you get those
Yeah, you're
parents
dealing
up there
with-
just chirping at 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. the whole,
Yeah,
you know,
I haven't
just
had
the
my
whole-
black
get it.
coffee
I
yet.
get
Yeah.
Yeah, you're dealing with
whole
people who
game.
are uneducated about it
And that's
compared
the
to like
other
a very
thing.
educated group, right?
It's people that don't even know the rules that are yelling, that see something, because, you know, USA Hockey has their own rule book. NCAA has their own rule book. The NHL has their own rule book. And
Yep.
they'll be chirping an NHL rule in their
They have
kids'
no idea.
U8 game.
Yep.
And it's like, just cheer for your kid. Just yell
Yeah.
skate.
Skate.
So there's a huge shortage of those
Shoot.
youth refs now, right?
Across all sports.
Yeah, parents are doing
Yeah,
it. You're right.
Yeah, parents are driving them
All
out.
sports.
It's
I mean,
parents.
baseball, yeah. Football, you saw
You
some.
see it all the time. We'll put some in maybe, but like the parent and like umpire, official, referee, like stuff that happens is just crazy.
The stuff you see on the news.
Nuts. I mean, the news stuff is bad, but even just the funny interactions sometimes, I laugh all the time. Like I saw a baseball one the other day where the coach came out and was just giving it to this guy, and like the umpire was just like, "Here's your balls. I'm fucking out of here." He just took them all out of his thing. Said, "I don't need to take this for four." He goes, "You're getting paid $40 for this game. You better be better than that." And he goes, "Exactly. I'm getting paid $40. Here you go. I'm out of
Have
here."
at it. Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's the money that we're investing in youth sports these days that make parents feel entitled, or something with the air and the rinks, but it's happening everywhere. And I had a game a couple of years ago at Foxborough, and the game was completely clean. It was a low tier, like 14, 16 boys game, and really nothing happened the whole game until the end. You know, it was probably a 3-0 game, and there was a bit of a scuffle at the end, and then it was like a bench clearing brawl, and we separated the teams. The coaches said, "All right, we're going to take our team off this door." I said, "Great, go." And a parent of an opposing team pushed one of the kids as the whole team was coming off the ice. I'm like, you're going to push a child with their whole team right behind them. Like, what is...
See,
What's got into
I
you?
feel like once the skates are not on the ice anymore, it's not your responsibility.
Oh, it's not. No, it's totally not. No, it was great because my partner started getting off and I grabbed him
I'd be
and I was
like,
like,
nope,
no,
no.
that's not.
If I ever
not
saw
on
that
us.
going on outside, I'd just be like, I'm just going to skate around the ice.
No, I
Oh,
just,
wow. Like,
yeah.
oh.
And, you know, 3 dads on the other team handled the situation, and then the cops came, and, you know, there's the live barn video now that captures everything in a rink. So, I mean, parents are just crazy to, A, think that's okay to put your hands on a kid, and then B, like, what are you doing?
When you've been in some of these games, like the AHL piece, the Olympic piece,
Who was
like
the
whatever,
AHL game? Phantoms and the who?
I did 7 this year.
Who was
This
the
year?
first one?
Wilkes-Barre, PA.
Wilkes-Barre. Wilkes-Barre.
Wilkes-Barre.
Not Barry.
Wilkes-Barre.
Pyongyang.
The Scranton killer or whatever in the office.
Scranton Wilkes-Barre.
So, are you ever taking any shots from those guys about like a female ref? Like, because now NFL.
Yeah, I
refs
don't.
in the NFL, like it's happening in MLB. Like
that wouldn't bother me when I was playing. That wouldn't bother me one
either.
bit.
I'm just wondering if anybody's still firing shots or if people are super respectful.
Yeah, I've found the latter.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I think the higher levels you go, there's that respect factor of understanding we have a job and they have a job.
And by the way, I earned my way up here, so it's not like they gave it out.
Yeah, I think again, it's at the youth level where you just take so much more heat out there.
So bad. I wonder, it's so bad.
They give it to like you the same way if it's something you missed, because it's like, hey, this rule is here. You missed it. I'm all over you no matter what, right?
That's
where they get mad.
Yeah, and for me, the sign of respect is for me to be treated like my colleagues.
Exactly.
And for them to throw F-bombs my way, like I take that as a sign of respect.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because I would
That's
rather
what I'm
them
getting at.
rather them speak in a different tone to me than my.
To be honest with you, it doesn't matter who you are. If you have whatever,
if you're there.
If you got black and white on,
you're a target.
Yeah, like they're. Wouldn't matter. I'm just still going to come after you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Excuse me, ma'am. I'd like to talk to you about that last play.
No,
just in the heat of the moment, no chance.
Do you ever get thrown out of any games ever?
No.
Yeah, football's it's tough to do that anyway. Oh. Now it's easier with like targeting and all that type of stuff. That's really more college though.
Yeah, but you still can get kicked out in the NFL now.
When you do certain hits?
They can review something. Is it 2?
I think it's F for 2.
College is 1.
Yeah,
right?
college is targeting.
College is targeting on one
Remember
review
the national
and you're
championship
gone.
game? Like either this year or last year, the best linebacker for Alabama like laid a hit on a guy that I was like, I think it was Alabama. It was like that was a pretty good hit, and like you could tell he wasn't really trying to targeting. Boom, out 2 minutes into the national championship game.
It's got to be hard for you guys, not necessarily on the youth level, but like that. Like the game moves so fast.
So fast.
Yeah.
Like I can understand how you miss stuff, or make some errors.
Yeah,
blatant ones.
I can't even follow the
whatever.
puck.
But it's so goddamn fast now.
Yeah, and they're trying to get the hits to the head out of the game now, but there's just it's so fast, and a hit to the high chest versus neck and chin area is just so hard to differentiate that. So a lot of times you're looking to see the head movement, but
And what is a high stick? If it draws blood, it's
that's in the NHL.
That's an NHL one.
A double minor.
Okay, and if there's no blood, then it's just a regular minor. All right.
So you think that the Olympics are the best place that you've traveled to and refed?
Yeah, that was a long-term goal of mine, and to be on that ice was definitely a really cool experience.
We usually ask like any of the athletes or whatever that we're interviewing, like, what's your favorite city? Mostly for like, where do you like to go out to eat? So is there a spot for you?
So each of my...
So like a referee bar, like in all these cities where it's like all the refs are there, they still got their shirts on. They slide the beer to you, they're like...
Put their skate guards on and walk into the bar.
As soon as you walk in, it's not like Norm, it's like, Katie!
Yeah. Well, in Albany, there's Maxie's on Wolf Road.
See, there are these places.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love traveling, and my skates have been my passport to the globe. So each world championship I did over the years.
There's a line right there.
That's your title.
There's a T-shirt.
A little long for a title, but
skates of the passport to the globe.
We'll work with it.
Okay, we'll get it there.
So I would always piggyback a trip, and so I did a tournament in Budapest, been to Scandinavia a bunch, but traveled to Barcelona after a tournament. That's a pretty cool city. Budapest was great.
You are free and clear. Any game that you ever could possibly ref while working here, you're going to the game. So you just take all the assignments that you want.
All right. You heard it here, folks.
Absolutely. I love that.
I think there's a Mike game tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Perfect.
I'm sure there is somewhere.
Absolutely. Fine.
What's the new goal? Is there a new goal?
Yeah, good question. So the goal, was the Olympics, and then also an NCAA championship game, and it was pretty cool. So for referees, my mentor was the first and only female to wear the bands in a women's NCAA championship game. So that was she did it in 2010. And then in 2019, I reached that goal. And the assigner, Paul Stewart, who is an NHL longtime official, he wanted to see 4 women out there. So he put the 4 of us together, and we did travel kind of January, February into playoffs. And the way the cards turned, we ended up making it to the final game. So it was cool to reach that goal of mine to do an NCAA women's championship game, but then also set a record and do it with 3 other women. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is an NHL game like on the list of like next goals? I mean, you've crossed off a bunch of them.
Yeah,
if Olympics were kind of number one, I mean,
what else is there?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much.
You know, men's pro hockey was never really on my radar. It was never a possibility. And I went to the NHL officiating combine in 2019, and then did go out to Anaheim, and I did a rookie tournament, a prospects tournament, so guys that are in their system. And so out there it was like Colorado, LA. Anaheim, Arizona. So I think there were like 8 teams out there. So got to see some high level play there. And then 2020, with COVID, that was a bummer because I think that could have helped me get some more experience. So we kind of missed that whole year.
Yeah.
And then 2021.
Get to stay in the state of Rhode Island in youth hockey, though. That helps.
That was great. And then 2021 went back to the combine, and that's when the AHL came into the picture. So was able to do a bunch of games this year, and who knows,
Just keep on doing them.
Yeah, I'll put in my best effort. Maybe count my macros again this summer, leading up to the
So it's really like an in shape like skate thing. That's a big part of it, huh?
Yeah. I mean, skating. We're out there. Our shift is 20 minutes long, and we're out there 3 periods.
I never thought about that way. That's true. Yeah.
So
some skating.
Yeah. I mean, skating's the name of the game. You have to be able to get out of the way.
Teach me how to stop at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, can you teach how to skate?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Can you? Like, what do you think when you stop? For me, I'm like, don't fall. Like, you don't have to think about it anymore.
Trust your edges, Tim.
So, like,
Trust your edges. They're not going
to. I know how to ski, so it's like can't be that different.
Oh, so stopping is the same.
Not even close.
Stopping is the same. But when I first started skiing in high school with some friends that were on the ski team, they're like, it's just like skating. And they get to the bottom, I put my skis on at the bottom, try to get to the lift. And you can't cross over your.
No, that's frowned upon.
So I learned that very quickly. I don't think.
Yeah, stopping is not the same as skiing. It does not feel that way to me, at least. I don't know if it.
Do you do the pizza when you're?
No, I ski, but no, I stop. But like, if you, I just don't know how to like
make a chair out there too, and he pushes it around.
I do have a funny video.
Milk crate.
Actually, I will send you a video to add to this of me skating. It's like a lumbering man out there on the ice. Like, that if I get going, like I'm laying a boom, but that might be it. Like I won't ever catch you.
The ice is cracking beneath you.
No, that's mean.
So I would say are you righty?
Yeah.
So start with turning your right foot first and try to push into the ice and just kind of drag your left foot. That's how I would start stopping. So use your dominant foot,
so
your
you're
right
saying
foot.
I should dominate. Okay, so you're going
You're trying
this
to
way.
push in with your inside edge of your skate.
Yep.
And see how much snow can fly.
See, that's what I want to try to do. I can't
That's
fly
what you're
snow.
thinking about.
Yeah.
That's what you're
I'm thinking of what's the name of the
Can
movie?
I get the kids
Mighty
in
Ducks?
the face?
No, not that is a question I have for you before we finish. What's the name of the movie? Cutting Edge.
Cutting Edge, yeah.
Yeah. Like
all edges.
they just throw snow.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Looks so cool.
Yeah, I never could do that. Yeah,
Toe pick.
Yeah, toe
pick.
pick. Yeah, you got it. So wait, what was I going to say? You said something.
So
I
that's
had a this or that.
So that's not really the goal of stopping, though, to see how high you can get the snow.
Yeah,
it's not. Well, I like to just be
looks
able
cool.
to throw something.
It looks
Absolutely.
cool.
What did you say? Oh, that's what it was. What is your favorite hockey movie? But I'm going to give you 2 that you can pick from, and then you can tell me if I'm missing one. Is it
Slapshot or Mighty Ducks?
No. Is it
2 good
Is
ones.
it The Miracle or is it Mighty Ducks?
Ooh.
Or just Miracle, right? It's
I
not
think it's
called
just-
The Miracle.
Just Miracle.
Cool.
Yeah.
You all know what you have to do. No one, and I
Yeah.
mean no one, comes into our house and pushes us around. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Sounds nervous about answering.
Yeah, I don't know
not-
because I feel like Mighty Ducks were. I mean, I had a
grew
Mighty
up on
Ducks
Mighty
starter
Ducks.
jacket.
Yeah, who didn't
Which I
have
wish
that?
I still
Yeah.
have.
And you shot. All you did was shoot knuckle pucks, like
I'm
when
gonna-
you.
yeah.
When you got
Goldberg.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to go with my childhood.
Okay.
Mighty Ducks.
I mean, Dan's like favorite movie all time is Miracle.
One of them, top 5.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, Top Gun. We went and saw Top Gun, number 2,
Ooh.
the new one.
Nice.
We're in the
Together?
office
Which
today.
is still
Did you guys go
we
together?
went to a premiere. We went to a
private screen.
private
Oh, wow.
screening
Private screen.
with
Just
the
the two of you?
Bachelor and
Went to the whole theater?
Bachelor. No, we went with the Bachelor and Bachelorette, Jared and Ashley, and then we had I don't know, there's 20 people there, probably 30.
Probably somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was awesome. So anybody listening right now, immediately as soon as this comes out, it comes out on Thursday.
We can talk about it, and it will actually be relevant.
Coming up.
Friday,
That's right.
Friday,
It's perfect
is it
timing.
May 27th. Friday, May 27th.
Friday,
right?
May 27th is the release of
We're
Top
not
Gun.
gonna give anything away
It's
because
called-
that
it's not
would
called-
get somebody in trouble.
Nope,
probably.
we're not giving anything away. It's called Top Gun.
phenomenal.
It's not called Top
Maverick.
Gun 2. It's called Top Gun Maverick.
Maverick.
It is immediately in my top, I think, 5 movies all time.
I'm just gonna throw every movie you say in top 5. Top 5. But no, it's
It
really
is very,
really good.
very good. Very good. But we're in an office full of people right now that half of them haven't seen Top Gun. The original, 1986, something like that.
Yes, I believe
I mean,
you're right.
Absolutely just classic, unreal. They haven't seen it. Most of the office. So I turned it on Netflix before we came in here.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay, thank God. Oh.
Thank you. Phew. Okay, you got.
So is Maverick
go Friday.
worth seeing in the theater?
Absolutely. Yep. I haven't been to a movie in a long time too. I'd be really bummed if I had to wait for that to come out. Like I
think they're
Go
gonna.
see
I
it.
think they're gonna play this one like the old style movie. This is gonna be in the theaters for a while
yeah.
before it comes out.
Yeah, it's a nice theater movie too because you want it to be loud
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
action. You know,
Yeah.
feel a little vibration from the speakers. So, but that was a good conversation. Do you think a hot dog is a sandwich? This is one of my new questions.
No.
Yeah, good. I agree.
Okay, no. Okay, I'm in that same camp. What about your favorite Gatorade
I thought he
color?
said it was a sandwich.
No, I don't think it is.
Who
No,
said
I
it
had
was a-
2 hot dogs into the bun. 2 hot dogs in the bun.
Mustard or
you used
ketchup?
to.
Andrews said it was a sandwich.
That's
No,
right.
no ketchup ever, just mustard.
Yeah,
And
me
I do like relish, so mustard and relish. But I'll just, by the way, you don't need to give me anything on a hot dog. I'll eat a hot dog all day.
Are those in your
without
diet
anything
for this
on it.
summer?
Nope.
What's
No,
the
I haven't
macro
even-
count on that?
By the way, hot dogs aren't that bad if you stay away from the bun. They're not great, but I do remember at one point like being like, I'm so hungry. I would just like nuke 5 hot dogs in the microwave and just eat them. Be like, oh god, phew. Need that.
You're amazing.
What is the meat in a hot dog?
Oh,
Well, you can get
it's all the
beef.
scraps,
You
right?
can get beef hot dog, which is probably not actually beef. It's probably comes from the thing that beef comes from, but that's it. So, all right. So that's one of my what Gatorade color favorite.
Pack.
We haven't asked this in a while.
I don't know. Probably red.
Psychopath. Yellow's the only answer. Dan's a red person too.
I like
though.
red.
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel so. We got like
Yeah, that was good.
all, like you've been first at everything.
And by
here.
the way, just this conversation, I'm going to be even more nice to the officials.
Oh.
yeah. See, that's
that's what we're
nice.
trying to do.
I'm going to be even more nice
One person at a time.
because I appreciate them spending their time
I'm gonna
doing
save
that because not a lot of people are doing it
I
anymore.
can't wait to get out there and see you up in the stands at
Yeah.
one of your kids' games.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm more of the fan of going to the outfield or to the side and not saying a whole much right now. But I'm in super early youth sports. You're starting to get into a little bit more competition.
We're in both. Yeah,
where it's
we're in a little
starting
bit
to be
both.
real.
I can always identify the parents that played hockey at a high level
Yep.
in a youth game because they're the ones standing usually by themselves in the corner,
Yeah.
not saying a word.
Yeah,
It's the 4 dads that are up there screaming together that have never played the
Nope,
game.
hey,
Yeah.
So I will not be up top anymore. There we go.
Yeah, I know
Sorry,
exactly
I can't,
who you're
can't
with
sit with
and
you
who
anymore.
you
I have to
stand
go in
with.
the corner because it looks like I played.
And they're like,
Quietly,
go.
quietly
Thank
in the
you.
corner.
There you go.
They look,
There you
then they
go.
look in the corner. Katie's like, wait a minute, that redheaded out of shape guy, he didn't play.
There's no way that happened.
All right. Okay, thanks for coming on.
Thank you,
All right,
Katie.
thank
Yeah,
you.
this was fun. We weren't too
Yeah.
bad, right?
No, you were great. And,
And
there's
now
a
we
nice
can get
spot
a-
up there in the
now we
wall.
can get a shirt up.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it hot?
another
We'll go
reference.
Is it
low.
hot in here?
It is
Yeah,
getting
it
a
is.
little
See,
warm
now
in
now
here.
you know why we come out sweating.
No,
like,
we'll go low with you. We'll go like right here, Max. Right here. We'll get something up there.
Yeah,
Is
we
it going to be a jersey or is it going to be a reffing jersey?
99.
That would be
Put
cool
the
if we put
99
stripes
jersey
in
up
Well, we
there.
do call them jerseys.
Okay, so let's put let's, you know what we'll do? We'll just make a sublimated one. And we'll throw one up. That'd be cool.
You mean we can't ask Toronto for that 99 back?
We probably can't get
just
it back
get it out
from
on
there.
loan?
We probably can't get it back from there. So thanks
All
for coming on.
All right. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Fast Start Prime is brought to you by Squad Locker. Squad Locker is your one-stop shop for custom team apparel, delivered right to your front door. Learn more by visiting squadlocker.com.